Can you describe your journey and your thought processes of, what made you decide, what made you realize, wow, I've got the ability to take some of these deals out. They don't make sense. And let me start buying some of these other types of deals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, COVID really kind of opened our eyes up to this. So at first, a lot of people, especially if they're newer, they kind of see the real estate industry or game or whatever it is as far as investing, almost like some kind of ladder or something of sophistication. Like, okay, you got to start with
Mhm.
wholesaling, and then you go to single family flipping, and then maybe small multifamilies, and then large
So you're
multifamily.
saying you're saying you don't have to do that. Is that what you're saying? Like
That's
we
exactly
think
what I'm
that.
saying. That was the
Okay.
big epiphany, because then we went to
Okay.
JVs and then syndications and then the holy grail, like a fund or something like that at the top. And that's kind of like the image that's kind of out there for a lot of people. Like, I just need to get more sophisticated. I have to do syndications, and then I have to start a fund and also, and then that's what we were doing. And then like the big kind of epiphany was like, we don't have to do any of that. Like, it's not like that at all. And then I mentally transitioned um, to kind of like a toolbox mentality of like, all of these strategies, or you just have to know a lot of strategies and how to take down a deal efficiently. Seller financing, master lease options, syndications, joint ventures, all these things is you just have to know how to do each one of these and either get a program or something like that, get the books on how to do these strategies. So when you see a deal, you see you'll be able to see a lot more opportunities, because now in your tool belt you have a lot more tools that you can use. Maybe this deal won't be good for a JV. Maybe it's too big. You need to syndicate it, or maybe the deal is the capital markets aren't good right now, so you want to do some seller financing or master lease option. Well, now you have that tool and you can bring out that tool. So now I've transitioned to a mentality of what is the most efficient strategy and tool that I can use to take this deal down. And that's how I look through every deal now. And so it's not like, and Bill Ham used this kind of example of like, or he uses the example of like the hammer. Like, if all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail kind of thing. And that's a lot of it. Like with the syndication world, it's like everything's a syndication. And now it's like, no, it's like that could be a master lease option, that can be seller financing, that can be a JV. Like, it's what is the most efficient way to take down that deal, and easiest way to take down that deal. And that's how I look through it now. And then coupling that with the conveyor belt, again, a lot of it was you just need to play the bigger, better. Trade the duplex in for a 4 unit, the 4 unit for a 10, a 10 for a 20, a 20 for 100, 100 for 300 unit deals. And like every deal needs to get bigger, or you're not progressing, in the eyes of whoever. So that was a lot of the mentality early on. Now it's not like that at all. I see everything now on that 5 year conveyor belt. I have a couple assets that kind of like the legacy properties or whatever, but that's a little different. But pretty much as a business, it's a 5 year conveyor belt, and I can put assets on there. And maybe I put a joint venture 10 unit on there. That one's off running. Then I put a 50 unit syndication or 100 unit syndication. That one's running. And then maybe I put a bunch of, maybe a 10 unit local deal. Like, cause before I was like, I'm not doing any 10 unit deals anymore. I'm doing 100 unit deals now. But then now I'm like, well, I'm stupid. Why would I give up? This is a great property. It's a 10 unit deal. It's a half mile from my house. Why would I not do that? But 2 years ago, I wouldn't have looked at those deals anymore, because I'm like, I'm only doing big deals. But now it's put assets on the conveyor belt. What's the most efficient way to take it down? Don't discriminate against the size of a deal. If the deal's good and it fits, what you're looking for, throw it on the
Yes.
conveyor belt. And then in whatever it is, 3 years, 5 years, whenever those business cycles come out, you're building that equity up, and you're having those capital events either through a refinance or a sale. And then now you're liquid again, and now you buy a new asset. And it starts out slow. And for me, it was like between 2018 to 22, it was just putting assets on the conveyor belt. That's all I was doing, putting assets on the conveyor belt. But now we're starting to sell some of those. And the last half of 22, and then now we have 3 units, 3 complexes on the market. And I'm looking at the projections are up here on my whiteboard of what those cash injections back into me, those liquidity events are going to be for me. And I'm like, holy crap, like this is awesome. So those first batch of assets I bought 3 years ago are finally coming off the back end of that conveyor belt. And um, it's pretty exciting to see. So now we're actually seeing that rocket fuel kind of curve up of, now we're getting these huge liquidity events, and now we can transition to, as your business model shifts, which we can talk about next, into those next kind of iteration of assets that we're looking for.